Imagine a world painted in hues we've never seen, not just new colors, but entirely new ways of seeing. What if our eyes could detect the invisible? What if we could see heat radiating from a living body, or the ultraviolet glow of a flower? Our current vision, limited to a narrow band of the electromagnetic spectrum, is like listening to music on a radio stuck on one station. Infrared and ultraviolet vision would be like plugging that radio into a massive speaker system, blasting a symphony of information we never knew existed. But with this newfound sensory input comes a whole new set of challenges. Our brains, wired for a lifetime of red, green and blue, would struggle to process this influx of data. Would we be overwhelmed, or would we adapt and evolve, our perception forever altered? Imagine the world through infrared eyes. Everything would glow with an internal heat signature. People would appear as walking heat maps, their warmest areas glowing brightly, their cooler extremities dimmer. At night, the world wouldn't fade to black. We'd navigate by the heat of buildings and pavements, see animals scurrying in the dark. Predators would become even more efficient hunters, their prey illuminated by their own body heat, but this constant thermal vision could be overwhelming. Imagine trying to sleep with a room full of glowing objects. Our brains would need to adapt, learning to filter out the constant infrared noise. Now picture the world bathed in ultraviolet light. Flowers would burst forth in a dazzling array of fluorescent patterns, invisible to our current eyes. Birds and insects would sport markings we never knew existed. UV vision could help us detect things hidden from normal sight. Certain chemicals would fluoresce under UV light, allowing us to track pollutants in the environment or detect counterfeit money. Medical diagnoses could be made with a glance, as diseased cells often emit a different UV signature than healthy ones. However, this heightened visual sensitivity would come at a price. Too much UV exposure is harmful, and our eyes would need to evolve protective mechanisms to avoid damage. The world might become a bit too bright, literally, with everything from the sun to our clothing emitting UV radiation. The ability to see beyond the visible spectrum holds both peril and promise. Our brains, accustomed to a certain range of visual input, would face a steep learning curve. The sensory overload could be disorienting, even debilitating. Evolutionarily, there might be trade-offs. Would enhanced IR and UV vision come at the expense of our existing senses? Would our color perception diminish, or our night vision weaken? These are questions we can't answer without venturing into this uncharted sensory territory. Despite the challenges, the potential benefits are too great to ignore. Medical diagnoses could become faster and more accurate. Environmental monitoring would reach new levels of precision. Security measures could be revolutionized with the ability to detect hidden objects and substances. The world, seen through infrared and ultraviolet eyes, would be a different place indeed.